A. Reviews.
Back in here, yo.
And we just came back from watching BlacKkKlansman.
Woo.
Man.
Yes.
Spike Lee. Another Spike Lee joint.
And Jordan Peele.
In the record books, for sure.
Yes.
So, right off the bat, David Washington. John David. My bad.
Washington.
John David Washington.
Denzel's son.
Denzel Washington's son.
Young Denzel.
Doesn't like to actually use any credit towards his father because he wants to make it on his own because he's not about that life.
But
people still
know who he is.
Know who he is.
Denzel's son.
Man, I mean, right after, like I want to start talking about it, and I don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
So I'll have to just try to break this down little by little, and then I'll get into spoilers. So
from the beginning, it hits you. It does.
This is not a film, obviously, about peace, love, and happiness, right? I mean, it's about a black cop that has the great idea to infiltrate the Ku Klux Klan because basically, like, you know, they don't have the greatest rep for being non-violent.
Yes.
And it could be a danger to the community in Colorado Springs, of all places.
Well, his community.
His community, right? And he's about upholding the law and all that good stuff because he is an officer of the law.
Yes.
So,
and he's on, well,
yeah,
one of the first.
He's part of a new, like, kind of outreach program, if you will. And he's like the first black cop to be recruited onto the Colorado Springs Police Department.
Yes.
So therein lies our setup for the story, and it kind of unfolds from there. Now, it's based on a true story. Apparently, it's based off a book authored by the character that John David Washington portrays.
Yes.
Ron Stallworth.
Yes.
You hear that name a lot in the movie.
Yes.
So not one that you will soon forget, for sure, if you watch this. Ian, I mean, without giving anything away, right? We're gonna say that for spoilers. How do you think they did on, for a time, like, obviously it's a time period piece. How do you think it was in regards to that?
They did pretty well in terms of the time. I mean, they tried to keep, like, the slang the same, clothes style roughly. They tried to keep the music roughly the same. So they tried to keep the car. Yeah, everything they tried to keep the same in terms of the time period that they're in. You know, and then just give across the story, which they did a good job of, like, sticking to the time period and not letting other stuff, like, slide in and influence it or change it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought they did a pretty good job with that as well. All the vehicles, make models, even the older looking license plates, the bar, the houses, outfits, even the accessories that they all had on. Very good. Even the coordinated, like, kind of disco dance scene that's in the movie. It's not a whole lot, but it's there. So it's all intact. The movement as a whole in regards to civil rights and what have you, it was done really well, I thought. Now some people may not agree as far as what Spike Lee's vision is. That's okay. Not everyone always agrees with Spike's movies.
Spike normally has a focus on his movies that he puts across.
And a message that he wants to tell, not what popular Hollywood wants to tell you, right? It definitely has small little subtle tones to call outs to issues that are happening now, right?
So certain phrases and words that you'll hear that basically are used today a little more common. And it kind of has the tie-ins to that.
Yep. And then if you are familiar with what's going on in today's current political climate, so to speak, you'd be like, I see what you guys did there. So I like that. I mean, if you're going to watch this thinking that you're just going to see a kind of a comedy about someone infiltrating the Ku Klux Klan,
No.
Sorry, wrong box checked on that one.
No. I mean,
That's not what this is.
There are funny moments throughout the movie.
There are some comical
there
moments.
There are some comedy and stuff like that where he kind of does with certain situations, but I mean, it's not a lighthearted movie at all.
Yeah, it's definitely not. There's definitely some. If seeing things negatively portrayed about a different culture, a different timepiece where things were not so fair, if you will. Not too much different from now, but you know, there are a couple scenes you can tell there are a couple people that probably wanted to walk out from some of the stuff that they saw. Not in a what's the word I'm looking for? Not in a sense that like, oh man, this is too rough, or something like, you know, Glory or like Roots or something where someone's getting beat, but just something where
it's just the ideas,
like just the ideas that come across, right, are like really, really strong. You're like, I can't. What did you just say?
Yeah. And that it comes across a couple times like that in the rest of the movie. You're just like, oh, what?
Yeah.
I mean, from the movie hits
right
you,
from the jump.
It hits you with the.
You know what it reminded me of? It kind of reminded me a little bit of what's that movie with Matt Damon that we saw? That crazy film. Remember how that started off? I was like, what are we watching? I have to look that up. I'll put it in the comments. Suburbicon. Yes. Suburbicon, that's what it was called.
Yeah, it had the weird
like they had a really weird opening. I was like, what? What did you just say? Whites only neighborhood?
Yeah.
What?
So, but that was like that, but just like 100 times worse.
Yeah. Spike Lee definitely got his message across.
And it went on for a little bit. So be prepared for the first, I don't know, like 5 minutes of the movie.
So, like I said, there's a lot I want to talk about, but we're going to do that in spoilers. Adam Driver.
He did a really good job.
Great job, right?
Yes.
He has definitely shown me with different films like Lucky Logan. Have you seen Lucky Logan?
Lucky Logan, yes.
Good job. Like, I'm actually starting to like Adam Driver as an overall good actor. I mean, yes, he has a lot of stardom, so to speak, from the Star Wars films.
Yes.
Outside of that, on his own, though, if I had never saw him as Kylo Ren and I just saw the films that he's been in recently, good actor.
Yes.
Good actor. Does his part very well. There was some backstory revealed in the film about him. I kind of wish we knew a little bit more. I feel like there's a whole other story there. But I'll get into that later. All the actors in here, I'll be honest with you, I don't know, like these guys are really good, or some of them have some deep-rooted hatred somewhere hidden, because I really believe they were who they were in this film. They did it. I was convinced.
They released a few. There's a couple people you're like, hey.
You gave that line really well.
A little too well.
Did you have the first take? It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Topher Grace.
Which is odd because we just watched an interview where he said he actually had to like meditate after because he felt so negative, and he even had to, like, for his reading, he had to talk to Spike Lee like, hey, before I audition for this role, like there's words obviously that I have to say for the role. I'm not really comfortable saying it. And Spike was like, no, man, it's cool. Like, I know what I wrote down. I know the words. Just say it. Topher was like,
all these words?
Like, okay, are you sure though? You're sure? Yeah, man, because you're helping me reach my vision by giving life to these words. And then Topher was like, okay, I will do it.
But it still
had an impact on him, though.
Yeah,
he was still even in the interview he's talking about it, you can just tell he doesn't actually feel very positive about the negativity that he had to bring into this role.
He knows he did a good role, and he almost feels bad he did so well in the movie.
Yes.
But he's like, I did well because I had to for Spike, but at the same time, I feel really bad on doing so well in this role.
He even said he had to go sit himself in a corner.
Yeah, and like just like clear his head, and like because he just felt bad. Like
yeah. I think overall, all the actors, even like the supporting like organization members, they were really good. Like Walter, Felix,
yes,
and a very strangely named Ivanhoe.
Which I don't remember. I think they said his name at the beginning really quickly, but then afterward, you don't really realize when they're naming him, and then later on he pops up, and you're just like, this guy.
I might be pronouncing it wrong. Like maybe they were just like Ivan, but it's listed in the credits as Ivanhoe.
Yeah.
So yeah, interesting name. The additional police officers were interesting twists as well. Yeah. The tie-ins throughout the film I liked.
Just calling back to different moments, and then like there's different parts where there's like you see a difference of rallies and things. So
even their negative comments about black people were actually dropping hints at what has happened historically to the point of where they're at in the film. Yeah. So that was kind of interesting as well. So like there's a reference where they talk about Dallas, and he's like, "Oh, isn't that where that N-word lover?"
Yeah, we're talking about Kennedy.
In Dallas. Talking about Kennedy.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, you dirty mother sucker, you. But overall, let's go ahead and do with that because I really want to talk about spoilers. So, Ian, what do you give BlacKkKlansman from a 1 to a 5? That's a scale of 1 to 5. What do you give it?
It's a hard movie to rate. Like, it's...
Okay, how about this? Before you say that.
Yeah.
Is it a movie they should watch this weekend?
I feel a lot of people should see the movie just in general. You should see it at some point. Like, it's a movie that I feel like just for understanding purposes, people should see just to understand points of view. So, yeah, definitely go see the movie.
Okay. And then now, rating.
I mean, it's not like it's a hard movie to rate because part of it you're mad at the movie, the other part you're like, okay, I understand. I'm okay.
All right, put on the critic hat.
4.5.
Ooh, 4.5.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. I will concur and say I think a lot of people should watch this, not just from a standpoint of like understanding or points of view. Maybe getting an understanding overall and getting a fresh look on what's really happening in the current political climate compared to back then. And you'll find out it's really not too different.
Yes.
Really not. We've kind of both known that for quite some time. So just saying, right? Just saying. And I will also go ahead and give it 4.5. I kind of want to give it a 5. I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest. Because I'm trying to, even moments where it slows down, you're getting information as to what's transpiring, like how it's going through. Like there's times in movies where it slows down and you're like, oh man, it's kind of boring. I guess I could probably run to the restroom and I'll miss this little part. Even the parts that slow down, like moments that you think are about to slow down, like something happens, you're like, oh, okay. And then it goes on to the next scene, and then it's not slow anymore, and you're like, oh, okay, so had I not been paying attention, or if I missed that, there's even the like the comments that they have for different stuff were making me laugh.
Yeah.
Even like the awkward pauses, like where you think they might break their cover, you're just like, that was a good. Were you thinking about that comeback in your silence? Like that was really good. So yeah, I mean 4.5. I'm gonna go ahead and say everyone should check it out. I'm gonna go ahead and concur with that. Now it's time for spoilers.
In your face.
And we're back. Special effects, y'all. Okay, so right off the bat.
Oh goodness.
Wow. Okay. If you are watching this and children are near, I'm sorry, but I'm gonna let go of some of the jokes that were made and the comebacks that were made in the film and some of the commentary. When he was like, "Pull your dick out, let me see if you're circumcised," I was like, "What the fuck?"
Oh my goodness.
And then like Adam Driver was like, "I'm not gonna let you see my dick." And then I was just like, that escalated rather quickly. And then he was like, "Forget that." He's like, "Take this lie detector test." And then I was just like, wow. So basically, Adam Driver's character has gone to meet the organization or the Klan people, and there's one guy.
He's playing Ron.
Oh yeah,
white version.
Yeah, let's backtrack. So John David Washington is Ron Stallworth, and over the phone, that's who he is. But in person, it's Adam Driver's character. We should all know this from the trailer. If you've seen it, if you haven't seen the trailer, now you know. So they even have a scene where he gives them words so they can try to match tones so they can sound like each other. And he gives them the lyrics to "I'm Black and I'm Proud," and it's awesome. Because when we heard the first line, I was like, "Is he giving them "I'm Black and I'm Proud"? I think he's literally giving them "I'm Black and I'm Proud." And by the end, they kind of sounded like a little bit. To be honest with you, so good. Shots off to them. Good job. Hats off. Man, and then just the language, like he's sitting there and he's saying all these like hateful, racist remarks, but he's kind of smiling when he says it because he knows he's joking. Yeah. And the fact that the white people on the other end, the parts of the Ku Klux Klan members, are like just eating it up, like
organization.
Man. They're like, we need people with your type of feelings and your type of blood and your standards. Yeah. You need to come on down here,
join the organization.
You need to be one of us, pure white America.
Yeah. Yeah, when he first calls, it's actually kind of funny because he just calls out of the blue. And he starts just basically...
the entire office turns around.
And he's just basically saying everything about how, he loves white people and black people.
Now, the super funny part is he gives his real name.
Yes, he doesn't realize it when he does it. They go, "Did you just give him your real name?" He's like...
And all the rest of the detectives are like, "Ha ha ha!
Ricky!
Give him your real name."
Yeah.
Henceforth, the conundrum is like, "Oh, how are we going to handle this?" And then he comes up with an idea. So it was done really well. Yeah. I like that part of it. Made me laugh, made me angry at some points. Kind of got over those things. Me personally, having a black and Jewish heritage, I felt like I was Ron Stallworth at times. Considering his Adam Driver's character technically was born Jewish, but not a practicing Jewish person, and then he he admits to John David Washington's character in the film that he never thought about any of that until he got into the situation, and now he can't stop thinking about his heritage, where
how much he's been hiding himself from
how much he hasn't looked into his past or where he comes from or what rituals are, all that stuff. So it's very interesting, and then to the level that they show on how connected, it starts off it's a small chapter, but then he says well, who are these guys? And then who are these guys? And then later on you find out that the FBI is actually watching Ron Stallworth's case, and they're like, "Hey, your case is very impressive. Would you like to trade information?" Yeah. And he's like, "Oh, well, sure. And here's this stuff." And he's like, "Well, as the FBI, can't you help me out?" And he's like, "FBI? Yeah. We never even had this conversation."
Who's ever here? Police. He's like, "These two guys have nuclear launch codes and NORAD," and it's like, what?
And they're supposed to be protecting America.
Yeah.
And they are part of the Klan.
Yep.
Hydra. Seriously.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's done really well. I really liked it.
Yes.
There was a mix of opinions I'm sure probably in the crowd. It kind of looked like everyone generally had a good time watching it. It seemed like it to me anyways. It was a mixed crowd. It wasn't it wasn't a full theater for the time we went to go watch it. It was a mixed crowd though, right? A little bit of both.
Yeah.
A little salt and pepper.
Yeah, I mean it was here and there people were rolling with it, but the end of the movie kind of
wow, it turns real fast, right?
It turns really fast.
You're watching a movie, and then all of a sudden Spike's and
real world,
real life,
and you're just like, wait, I wasn't expecting you to hit me with
August
that.
11, 2017, actual Klan marches in Virginia.
I mean, when they actually have
actual footage of people, white people, trying to kill black people, inadvertently only killed a white lady.
Yeah, and then they actually have film of
David
Duke.
Oh yeah.
Quoting Trump.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Now, of course, it's just kind of interesting to see that, like, even though the movie is talking about it, that it's a quick tie-in to what's the current, like I said, political climate is. I've said that. That's like the third or fourth time I've said that now. But it's true. So at the end of the day, the message that I thought was actually really good in between was where that former Black Panther guy said, power to the people, right? Yeah. People as a whole need to come together, and that's pretty much what the message of the movie. Yeah, in general, that's kind of what the message is. Like, hey, if we work together, like things can change. We can make it better, right? We can overcome. I mean, that might sound like I'm making a joke, but I'm being serious. Yeah. Like, there's really no reason to continue on that same path, and you got to figure this is easily 50 plus years later. Yeah, not much has really changed.
Yeah.
You know, even if we say it's only 40 years later, right? Not much has really changed. I will say it's a little better.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of like actual progress in certain areas.
Yeah, overall.
Not much. Yeah.
Not really. So, again, though, not to get too political because it is a movie review. However, we did need to touch on that just to let you know it does have that. It does have. It obviously has an agenda it would like to kind of share with people that you don't have to continue to follow what you've seen in the past or a set standard. You can step out and work together to try to change it. So, with that being said, thanks for all the love out there, everybody. We appreciate you. What do we have? Something crazy like something hours? What was that statistic
like 600 something hours last
600 something hours. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is 600 something hours of viewership. We love you all for that. Thank you so much. Thank you so very much. We appreciate you. Thank you
for watching us.
Us. Me and him. AR Reviews.
AR Reviews while we watch movies.
That's right. And we'll be doing it once again next week too. So go ahead and like, comment, subscribe.
Share it to everybody.
Let us know if there's anything you want to
because they say it with watch.
Arra. If you want us to Arra, I can't tell anything. If you want us to watch anything in particular, let us know. Any feedback, we welcome it. We criticism, good or bad. Like the video.
Put it in the comments.
You can not like the video. That's fine too. But comment. Let us know why. Yeah. So until next time, we out of here. Peace. Oh, and the biggest thing, I might be related to Prince.